It's complicated, male sexual function, erections, orgasms, ejaculations, the timing, our control of these things. There's still plenty we don't fully understand about how some men last longer than others and what those others can do about that. Now, if you've experienced premature ejaculation, you'll know that it feels a bit mysterious, variable, and absolutely downright frustrating. And this can leave us all open to misinformation and myths about lasting longer. So I'm going to quickly run through 9 of the big myths. Some of them are seriously unhelpful. Some are based on outdated medical understanding. And as a psychotherapist and a researcher, I can tell you that some of them are just absolute bollocks. So here we go. Myth number 1. Men with bigger penises last longer. Now, I suspect porn might be a bit responsible for this common misunderstanding. The reality, penis size makes no difference at all. It is not a factor in the time it takes a guy to reach ejaculation. And if you see this idea pushed out on the internet somewhere, the pusher is probably selling miracle penis growth pills or something. And just don't get me started on that. There's a whole rabbit hole of scamming and nonsense right there. Number 2, there's a quick fix for premature ejaculation. I wish this wasn't a myth. You've probably seen those ebooks and there's courses and the pills and methods that say, last 2 hours tonight and learn the total ultimate control in 48 hours and all the rest of it. Now, these things usually assume there's one simple cause for PE and you just need to do one thing and then it works for every guy. And this marketing is compelling too. I mean, as a skeptic and someone with some professional understanding of this subject, even I start to feel taken in. You know, if I read those great long sales letter websites with this story of how this expert struggled to find a solution for years, and then he did, and now he's taught it to thousands of men, and you can have it too for $199, special price today only. I get seduced by it. You know, surely they wouldn't say these things if they weren't true. Surely if an ebook or an online course costs that much, it must be true and good. But the reality is myths and marketing. Often your $199 will get you a PDF and a bit of video telling you to masturbate more slowly, take deep breaths during sex. Okay, thanks for that. So the reality, PE is certainly treatable, but it's not often fixed within a day or two. Sometimes there might be a guy who's been moving or thrusting or doing something that's so wrong, a simple adjustment makes a big difference. And you can see my video on movement and exercises for more pointers on that. But there are other skills to learn, and this takes a bit of effort and an open attitude. And we start to feel an increase in confidence, but it's a curve of personal development. Don't expect anything to work instantly, except maybe SSRI medication, possibly numbing sprays and wipes. But they aren't in themselves long-term fixes. Skills are way to go. Number 3, the right food supplement will make you last longer. There's loads of this around. Ginkgo biloba, St. John's wort, CBD oil. And see my other video about blue pills with natural ingredients. These promises of lasting longer and increased potency, etc. And for some of these ingredients, there will be a study out there that suggests it might make a difference. But the results are always inconclusive. There's the placebo effect, and there are other factors that come into play. But supplement manufacturers and marketers, they run with these studies and they sell these things as solutions. So the reality, in my opinion, this might be more of an oversimplification than a total myth. You know, there might be some health benefits to these organic concoctions. But 1, do your research. 2, try to find a reputable brand. And 3, just don't expect massive results. I'm all for the placebo effect. It's a recognised factor in treatment. But pills and supplements, they can be a very expensive way to access it. Number 4, all men can control when they come, and those that don't are just being lazy and or selfish. Well, the reality is, yeah, there are lazy and selfish guys out there, and they might not make awesome sexual partners, but most men with PE are trying really hard to last longer and to satisfy their partners. The frustration and the anxiety might make them uncomfortable and they avoid sex, but that's kind of understandable. Like I say, there's a learning curve here, missing skills to be learned, and it takes a bit of time and understanding, and there's nothing selfish about that. Myth number 5, men who come quickly secretly want sex over ASAP. Well, there was a time when premature ejaculation was regarded as a deep psychological problem, sometimes about underlying resentfulness towards women, and the remedy at the time was lots of psychoanalysis and digging around in there. The truth, again, this might be the case for some guys out there, but we have more neurological and social understanding of PE now. The vast majority of guys who struggle, they're attracted to their partners and they're loving and they're horny and they're healthy. There is a psychological or a mindset component to PE, definitely, but it's more about feeling performance anxiety. Number 6, too much masturbation causes PE. Well, this one's a classic. Fear of getting caught wanking when we're teenagers triggers our fight or flight mode and we get stuck like it. Or guilt and shame and feeling like we have a dirty habit. These create conflicted conflicts and feelings around sex. The reality, I'd call this another oversimplification. Yes, conditioning is a factor in PE, so are masturbatory habits and the distraction of porn, and we can have conflicted feelings around sex. But we haven't broken ourselves by masturbating too much. We might need to shift our perceptions and our habits a bit, but learning skills is the path to lasting longer. And masturbation is one way to get to work on some of these things. Myth number 7. Intercourse is natural, so men who can't do it properly are defective. I have heard guys say this to themselves. Ouch. In reality, most men who struggle with PE are in good health, with no anatomical defects. Yes, sleep, a crap diet, too much alcohol, these things can wreak havoc with our sexual function. See my video about PE and alcohol, for example. PE can also possibly indicate a prostate problem, and guys should always get themselves checked out. But most guys are healthy and well. Men don't all naturally just know the optimal ways to have intercourse. Again, often we have missing skills. Number 8. Circumcised men last longer than non-circumcised. The reality, it's not that simple. Yes, there is research based on small samples of men who were uncircumcised and they experienced PE. And they were voluntarily circumcised, and they did later report that they were lasting a bit longer. So the theory goes that circumcision might help produce sensitivity down there, and it might be an effective treatment. But there's also the placebo effect. When you take a significant intervention, it feels like it must do something. And plenty of men circumcised from a young age experience PE. So it's really not that simple. And last but not least, number 9. Most men last for 20 to 30 minutes, just like in porn. Well, the reality is, on average, most men naturally last for about 5.5 minutes. It's variable, men surprise themselves quite often, and it's all over a bit quickly on occasion too. That's the average experience. But however long you naturally last, there's plenty you can do about it. And yes, you may well want to last a bit longer, and so might your partner, but not necessarily for 30 minutes of relentless banging like we see in porn. That's perfectly natural and doable, but it helps for everyone to start with realistic expectations here. So to wrap up, I hope this has been interesting, and I hope it's put to bed some of the distortions and the oversimplifications and the over-focusing on the penis as the problem area. With premature ejaculation, it's so easy to not see the wood for the trees. And there's probably a euphemism right there. The best approach is a holistic approach. Now, I teach skills around physiological relaxation, awareness, and movement. And I cover all these bases as best I can. See my channel and upcoming videos for more of that. And thank you for watching. If you have any questions about premature ejaculation or sexual confidence in general, please feel free to get in touch, and my website is linked in the description below this video. Also remember that I am a therapist sharing my opinions and general advice, but this is no substitute for going to see your own GP or doctor. So if you have any concerns about health or your sexual health, you should go and get a medical checkup and take some advice. Thank you very much for watching.